G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's video on YouTube. Of course, I'm at the backyard garden. Of course, I've decided to plow out and dig my back garden again once more because everything is all starting to change. And I want most importantly about why have I not been making that many videos of YouTube of late. And yes, February 26th as well as March has been a relatively poor couple of months of me not making videos on YouTube. And if you remember that toy view that I actually took, unfortunately, there's a crow speaking in the background. I wonder what's with the crow speaking in the background here, eh? But anyways, so yes, as I'm making this video, it is of course not spring, although I wouldn't say we are in spring yet because we haven't gone past by the equinox. But it is quite a bit of a damp picture. As you can see, the soil has been quite groggy, of course, because of a bit of rain. But I wouldn't say it's that wet compared to like January and February. You know, January and February were absolutely soakers, aren't they? Okay, speaking of soakers, look at the tub. It has been soaked. That's better, isn't it? Although, that wasn't a very good move of me. But right, let's take a look at what we've seen in the backyard garden. So yes, I can see various plant pots, which have not yet been filled with compost. And I can hear sounds of parakeets outside, but anyways, since I'm just outside in the backyard garden, just touring around like a complete madman, we can see some mealworms. Well, I can see some mealworms right there. That's because I was feeding the birds. But apparently some of that food has been consumed by the cats, which are the main killers of birds. I'm not sure if that might probably work with that, because feeding to the cats may not be that appropriate than what I would probably suggest. Maybe foxes or badgers, I don't know. Who else consumes mealworms must be a complete another loony. Right, obviously as I'm speaking here, the backyard garden has been completely dug out. There's no seedlings yet, so I'll probably just have to wait for a few couple of more weeks time because the ground is still, I think the air temperature is a bit too cold at the moment, so I'll probably have to wait for the next, I don't know, I'm going to have to probably wait up until like April or May. So this backyard garden is not going to be filled with plants I'll be growing outside. You know, I think I need to wait for these 2 months because March is still a little bit too cold. But we did have that one-time record where we actually set up to about 19 degrees Celsius or 17 degrees Celsius where I am in the UK. I think it's Birmingham, isn't it? I think if I was down south in London, I'd probably say about 19 degrees Celsius, but I would probably say that's a far cry to what we recorded back then in 2025. And I think we actually had a very strange spring because it was quite dry, and it was also quite warm as well. In fact, quite warm to hot. You know, we've never expected spring 2025 to be like an absolute scorcher. And we also had a drought. Not sure if that phenomenon is going to be repeating again. But yes, I can start to see different things. I mean, there's just so many things I could really talk about. Including these mints and, what are they called? Just dead hedgerow meadow plant type things I can't really discuss. But anyways, let me just have a bit of a chit chat because obviously I've not been making any videos for a long period of time. And also, here's my bird blister. Look at that. And of course, yes, if I have a burn that's about the size of a 2p coin or underneath the size of a 2p... I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm talking about there, guys. But if I do have a burn that's about roughly under the size of a 2p coin, I don't know. If it's like over the size of a 2p coin, well, I need to seek medical advice. But nevertheless, it's actually getting better, isn't it? Even it's looking a little bit less pink and a little bit less swelly. Thank goodness for that. I think that blister there on my thumb is also looking good as well. You can start to see that my skin is actually perfectly granulated, even though it's not that great than what I'd make last. I think my skin cells are finally reciprocating back. They should get better from like the next couple of months or so, just before summer. But let me talk about the delayed uploads and why it has been so difficult. I think, let me just lift this tablet here. I'm actually dealing with a new tablet case because it's got that, you know, very strange looking thing. I think it's like a little clip holder. And why are the crows taking over my flipping videos? I don't know what's going on with the crows outside. Maybe it's just mating season because we're pretty much going up towards springtime, and that's why I'm hearing a lot of birds chirping outside. You know, that sort of explains to me why spring is on the cards. So yes, as I'm making this video, just let you know that I haven't been making that many videos so far, and yes, I did speak about how, you know, of how disgruntled I am with the daily dose of internet, not speaking on these videos. You know, that's the thing. You know, if you really want me to continue making videos daily dose of internet, please just include speaking. After you said the, hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet. Okay, this is just me ranting about it, because obviously I can't give a complete 5-cent damn crappy sort of moment just complaining about the fact that his channel doesn't have any talking. Yeah, obviously, that's the thing. If he doesn't include talking at the beginning of his videos after his intros, well, then I'm not making any more videos. I think that's a bit of a probability of what will potentially happen. But yet again, I am still producing videos, but to a lesser degree because of what happened during January, the very end of January, and also the beginning of February of 2026. And I think that was absolutely wrong. Very, very wrong. So I'm sort of thinking, how long is this problem going to be lasting for? Well, goodness knows. Probably in the next over 2,000 days, which would probably take about, you know, at least 6 years. But then I'd probably say, hey, that's not going to really work, isn't it? Which is just, I would say that's a bit mildly infuriating to get through, because obviously to wait over 2,000 days, I'll tell you what, one day I might be dead. That's all I can really tell. And there's actually quite a few things I need to pretty much speak here in this video, because there's just so much stuff that's actually been getting over my nerves just doing arts and crafts. Like, I want to keep on making arts and crafts videos and blah blah, or toy reviews in that case. But, okay, so there's been a lot of things that's been going on recently. So, you know, I have been told about going up towards that place. What was it called? The Hand-Drawn Stores, the Northfield Trade Centre. And I want to make a bit of a very firm complaint about this. Right, I just want to be very clear and honest that, yes, I don't work on a Wednesdays, Thursdays, or Fridays at that place, right? I do come here on the Saturdays just for, like, drawing and stuff. But remember, right, let me get this straight. I know this is going to pretty much tick a lot of people off. I have used Blender, but I can't stand of how complex the system works. Like, I am still learning. But the thing is, I can't stand of just how complex this system is. I think that's the problem. You know, I mean, that's the old saying. You got to poke the bear with a stick and just give it a go. You know, I did, but I'm not doing it just because I've got a lot of household chores to do at this moment here, and I think that's a complete struggle, isn't it? And I've also got more toys coming right up. You see how overworked I am as I'm making this video. Like, I don't want to start a rant here, but I am now, because I just want to give some time off. Apparently, I want to try and start myself looking a lot much more fresher, and just start things over again without having to be overwhelmed by what other people say. I'm an adult. I'm like 25 years old, you know. You can't tell me what to do. Right. I might as well just have a good gaze at this garden and stop ranting, because that's probably not the best time to do so. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, that's the rest of the whole backyard garden, and clearly I'm seeing a lot of dead nasturtiums here. I'm surprised. I'm actually seeing a bit of a huge record of seeing so many nasturtiums yesterday. And then there's also various plants, which is actually quite amazing. I did speak about the mints, and also the other meadow plants as well. It's quite amazing how the backyard garden has straightforward significantly changed. And if I remember, let me just go up towards this patch of the backyard garden here, if I be very mindful of how just... It's not been taken care properly, the rest of the backyard garden. It's not really good, isn't it? If you remember in the previous video, I actually did talk about these roses. Well, it looks like I can see another rosebud, which it looks like it's trying to blossom, but I think it's kind of failed, doesn't it? That thing there, isn't it? But yeah, I'm probably thinking that's going to be about it in this video. There's a lot of ivy right there, nasty weeds and stuff. And there's other things like that. There's like tubs full of water, isn't it? I'm just going to be very mindful around this backyard garden, because it looks particularly deadly and unsafe. Right, so how's my backyard tour going around? Well, I have to say, it's actually been not too bad, I suppose, despite the mild rant that I've been talking about, you know, to get towards Blender, you know, that 3D rendering program system. I don't have time, but, you know, please respect my time, because I need to look after my house. And I also need to look after my health, okay? It's very simple. I know I really want to start putting up my YouTube channel into a complete discussion about how am I going to really work hard on Blender, because, you know, I'm working on that other project that, you know, there's that one person. I won't probably reveal the person's name, because that might lead me into some hot water, of course. You know, I'll be in complete trouble. You know, I'd be in big trouble if I would have revealed the person's name. But then, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it as it is, because hey, I don't want to straightforward get too pressured by what other people say. It's my choice. Let me be my thing, okay? Just let me be free as a whistle, like a thoroughbred on steroids, or a thoroughbred without any steroids. Right? Anyways, so I'm gonna pretty much leave the video here before I start to get too disgruntled. And maybe it's probably best to show you all the beautiful things I've done in my backyard garden, which is just chronically amazing. I mean, look at my hedgerows. And what's even more strange is that if I'm going up towards around this weird section here, do you know what hasn't been consumed recently? The blackberries. Quite amazing that the blackberries they almost look like they've been... Oh man, they haven't been consumed, but that's actually quite sad. I'm surprised that these blackberries have never been touched. That probably explains to me why, you know, the birds haven't came in towards them, which is a bit strange, sadly, isn't it? Not having to consume a few berries. But anyways, I'm going to leave this video here. Hopefully my YouTube channel is all reinstated and all things like that. I won't talk about that thing that's pretty much poking right back at me like a bear. Obviously, I just don't want to mention of just how too complex the 3D system works. And I also want to apologize for ranting, because obviously I am back on my YouTube channel now. But I'm so glad to know that I'm finally reinstated. Hopefully I'll be able to make as many videos as I can. And if I can't, I'll try and do my best to hope for the best. So, I think that's going to be about it for today's video on YouTube. So, if you really enjoyed in this video so far on YouTube, please give this video a very good like. Subscribe for more for that videos in the future. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And I'm hopefully going to revert back to my usual self, just to create content for the best of what YouTube has to offer. Even though it's not as great as what I'd probably expect from, like, you know, years from like 2005, 6, 7. See what I did there? The joke has actually appeared, didn't it? Right, okay, that's it. Bye for now.